Hello and welcome to the Late Lunch Leftovers podcast, where we take a look back at some of our highlights from the past week. And we were out and about again on Friday as we continued our Village Hall series. Howard joined me in Maughold. It was a wonderful afternoon. We met so many people and found out some fascinating information about this truly historic place. We also, as usual, were joined by Mike Tyley, who was talking about negativity in his midweek mindfulness slot, and Marc's greatest hit taught us some more wonderful music trivia. Always learn so much from him every week. But we started with Kat Mills, the late lunch life coach, who talked to us about a morning routine which can really change our lives.
Probably not a morning person, and things didn't really roll in the morning, but after trying this it really did make a difference and have an impact.
So this is essentially then a routine, a sort of a set of steps that we should all be practicing when we first get up. Can you talk us through it?
Sure. So it's going to sound a little bit tricky to begin with, but I want you to see this as a bit of a simple way of being in the mornings, okay? So it's not something I've developed or come up with. It's actually quite a well-known routine. It's called the Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod. So Google it, check it out, and do a bit more research. I'll just talk about the basics today. So basically he suggests something called savers, and it's a mnemonic for 6 different things that we do in the morning. And the first thing is the S for savers is just to have a bit of silence. And for those that have got children, sometimes you do need to get up a little bit earlier for this one, just to have a bit of space for yourself. I know, Beth's pulling a funny face. So silence, a bit of meditation perhaps if you're used to doing that, or even just sitting by yourself and just doing a bit of breathing, okay? I've said to Beth earlier, and this is true, we can do this in 6 minutes, or you can go up to an hour or 2 hours, whatever you choose, okay?
I've just got this vision of me sitting with some great big headphones on, this noise cancelling ones. Just leave me for an hour, I'll be fine.
And a child poking you on your shoulder. Mom! Okay, so that's S, the silence. The A of the mnemonic is affirmations. Now, you can go all into this and be super serious about this, but all I'm asking is for you to say something to yourself that's very positive. So, I am feeling good. I am going to have a good week. Whatever it is, just start with an I am. It's very powerful. Yes, I am successful. I will be happy this week. I am being organised. I'm feeling positive, okay? You could just do one, write it down, or if you want to make it more powerful, say it out loud, okay? The V in the mnemonic of savers is visualisation. I want you to just imagine, with your eyes shut or eyes closed, your week ahead. So Beth, Christy, you can imagine yourselves on radio, interviewing people, talking, and the way it will go. Because the brain, if it has experienced it, will already think it's gone through it. So you're much more likely to be successful in whatever it is you do. Okay, it's very powerful. I know Olympic athletes use visualization, like basketball players, for example. They call it mental rehearsal. So next is the E, exercise. I'm not saying doing a half a marathon at 5 o'clock in the morning. What I'm asking for is just a stretch. Could be a stretch, could be moving, could be dancing in your kitchen to music, could be a little bit of yoga if you fancy doing that. But it could be a minute, it could be 20 minutes, whatever you choose. It's just getting that blood flow pumping around the body, okay? The R is reading. Read something positive. If the news has you feeling bad, don't read it. Don't read the paper. Read a positive page of a book. Read a sentence that has you feeling good. Read a positive quote on your phone. So that's the R. And the last one is S, scribing. Write down things that you need to be reminded of, or write something positive about your week. Write your goal. Write something that's bothering you so you can clear it from your mind. I call that page dumping. Just write it all down, okay? So savers. Go into a bit more detail, research it, and just try it. Try it any morning and see how you go.
And from your own personal experience, this is something that genuinely does work for you.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. I do it every morning. I get up at 6 o'clock before the children are awake.
Sorry.
I know. 6 o'clock. But I tell you what, Beth, if I don't do it, my week is nowhere near as productive, and my mindset isn't like it normally is. And so every couple of weeks, of course, our routine goes off, someone gets sick or something changes, but I know when I go back on to do this kind of routine, my week is so much more productive. Yeah, it's quite incredible.
Do you think we could commit to this?
I mean, to be fair, it actually sounds quite achievable.
6
I have to
minutes.
say, yeah. So if it's having that little list in front of you with the mnemonic, so that you know the different things you need to do. But I think that would be brilliant. Yeah.
I like the idea that just having a stretch counts as exercise. Yes. Go me!
Because
She's done it.
You're better to start with something small than go all out. And then next day you might just do a stretch and a bend. I don't know, whatever it feels like you want to do.
Start building up. Yeah.
Yes.
I think it's good. Shall we? Should we do it from now on? From tomorrow? But then I'll do this every day, won't I? And say, no, I'll do it tomorrow. No, I'll do it tomorrow.
I actually think, Christy, you've just made yourself accountable to the whole of the Isle of Man, so might have to carry that through.
Fine.
Right.
Okay.
We can
I'm going to
try
try.
The Nation Station, Manx Radio.
What have you got for us today? What little gem? Because they're always little gems.
Well, I should have played this for you last week because it was the last day of June. A hot afternoon is one of the lines thereabouts.
I recognise that.
Okay, so it should have been played last week, but I didn't. Now, why am I playing it at all? Well, Bobby Goldsborough, I just think, has a most amazing voice. He was also, and well, he's still with us, I think. Hopefully, as of today, he's still with us. A tremendous guitarist. Was in Roy Orbison's band for quite a while.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, he's no slouch on the guitar.
I think we should just call these segments, I didn't know that.
So, on this hot afternoon, the last day of June, he was 17 and she was 31. Now, that summer, 1973, I was a little surfing dude boy type thing.
You're going to tell me the song's about you?
No, but I was 17 as well on a hot afternoon, and it wasn't June, it was August by then, because the song came out in June, you see. So it was August, Perranporth Beach, and a holiday romance for everybody. This was the song of the summer. Now, if you imagine, it was a lovely summer, and you couldn't move for this song coming out of jukeboxes and people's radios, and it just sort of had everything. And yes, it was quite inappropriate because she was 31, he was 17, and it's a story song. But here's the weird thing. Now, if you wrote a story song, you'd end it, wouldn't you? Mm-hmm. You wouldn't fade out on lyrics.
Well, that wouldn't make sense, no.
That's what he did. This is the only story song I know that fades out on lyrics at the end. And you think, where did it go? It's okay, it's a reprise, but you like to think you'd have ended it somehow. And he didn't. And it makes that even more mysterious. It's not as mysterious as the Ode to Billy Joe, which we are going to play at some stage.
Fantastic song.
But I love that song, because what was she throwing off the Tallahatchie Bridge? Do we ever really know? It's more obvious than that. But I think it's gorgeous. I'll shut up now because it's about a minute longer than my normal choice. So here it is. Bobby Goldsborough. The summer of 1973. I'm getting all excited. Summer the first time.
Was a hot afternoon. The Nation Station. Manx Radio.
I mean, and we all feel, negative now and again. It's it's a flavour of human experience. But as always, I like to try and unpack the words, so the word negative, like what does that really mean? What's the kind of, what's the root of that? And so the root of feeling negative or negativity is like a denial, to negate something, to not allow. And often what we don't allow is ourselves to feel angry, sad. We try and get rid of that, or it shouldn't be here, basically. Why isn't my life a bed of roses? Because I feel this, and there's pain, and there's sadness. So we deny. So we don't allow ourselves to feel that because it makes us feel wrong or something. But, the way it links to the practice is that, these negative states of mind and emotions and feelings, they don't last forever either. Even if you try and hang on to sadness all the way until bedtime and you're in bed, sad, gone. And you wake up and you forget you're even sad. So you can't hang on to this stuff. Its nature is to pass away, even if only in deep sleep. It passes away. So part of the mindfulness perspective then would be to include and include and include more and more and more of what you feel, whether it's good, bad, ugly, and just allow yourself the space to feel that. Because whatever you're feeling exists in time. It is passing away as you feel it. And actually, what tends to happen is the more you open to something, the quicker it will pass, relax, fade away. The more you deny something, it will it will stick and it will always be there. You know, it kind of relaxes when you turn to it. So that's one thing. And the other thing, of course, with general negativity is that in mindfulness, there are a whole range of practices, some of which we've recorded, which act as antidotes to negativity. So negativity, you're locked into a thought tunnel. This is how I feel, this is correct, nothing else is true, it's only this, I'm sad, it's your fault. You're stuck in a groove there. So there are practices that will basically deconstruct that tunnel.
The Nation Station, Manx Radio.
About cheese. And it is, do you know, if you ask me, H,
Yes,
if you said
go
to
on.
me, what would be your death row meal?
Oh, that's moved on from... Yeah, go on.
Well, I would say cheese on toast. I
The
absolutely
last thing
love
on
it.
earth you want to eat
Yeah.
is cheese on toast.
It's my favourite thing. Cheese on toast and a bowl of chips.
Okay.
Amazing.
Well, if anything goes wrong, you go before me. I shall come round.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Lots of people getting in touch, letting us know what cheese they would take to a desert island if you could only take one type. Mel said garlic and chive Manx cheese or boursin.
Oh,
would have to take
boursin.
crackers as well. Oh, of course, never thought about the crackers.
Well, you could have bread. You could have bread, couldn't you?
Oh,
French to have bread, and the crackers is very British, isn't it? With boursin, of course, they're French. You'd have thought maybe some sort of a soft baguette or something.
again, I suppose the crackers would keep better, maybe.
Du vin, du pain, du boursin.
Thanks.
The Nation Station, Manx Radio.
Really easy poem to write because I wrote it from the heart, and it's a poem called Magical Maughold. A luxurious patchwork of pastures of green, neath a silvery blanket of mist. Such breathtaking beauty, a wondrous scene. It's a place surely heaven has kissed. I climbed Maughold Head as the morning sun rose, and the darkness surrendered to light, where the buttery bloom of the golden gorse grows, and adventurous seabirds take flight. Wispy white clouds on forget-me-not skies seem to blush in the warmth of the sun. A chorus of birds sing a morning reprise, as if forming a choir one by one. The waves gently lap at the craggy coastline as the sea wears the sun like a jewel, like diamonds that sparkle beneath the sunshine, looking over towards North Barroom. The village lies tranquil, unspoiled and serene, a perfectly drawn picture postcard. I stop for a moment and drink in the scene as I quietly tread through the churchyard. Oh, beautiful Maughold, a feast for my eyes, changing your mood without reason. From warm sun-kissed rainbows to dark stormy skies, replacing your clothes with each season. A vivid blue carpet in Ballaglass Glen, where the bluebells spread under the trees, dancing to welcome the springtime again, as if choreographed by the breeze. A canvas of colours fades into the night as the sun turns the sea liquid gold. The stars' glowing embers appear at twilight, a magnificent sight to behold. There's things that are priceless in life, they say. Their value is way beyond worth. I hope I live here till my dying day. It's my own piece of heaven on earth.
The Nation Station, Manx Radio.
And I understand that Keith Karouche
He's
is
lurking in the
someone that
corner
we
with a
should
cup of
speak
tea
to.
and a biscuit.
So we will just position ourselves over here. Keith, hello. Oh, have I just interrupted your biscuit? I'm so sorry about that. We'll just sit down here. Keith, you are from round these parts.
Yeah, Beth, I was born in Maughold 73 years ago. So I think I'm unique in that today, being the only born in Maughold person. Yeah. I've got a few thoughts that I'd like to share with you. I might be a bit too long-winded. An older friend of mine, all relating to this hall one way or the other. An older friend of my childhood, Minnie Watterson, she'd be born about 1890. She said, any dues that were held in this hall had to be by moonlight. So they gauged all the occasions to be full moon. So they came in the full moon. There were no torches, no cars, and that's how they were. And then in similar vein, my dad, Charlie Karouche, he said that a man came from Cumberland to buy all the Maughold wool every year. And once he'd processed the wool, he made blankets, and the sort of national lottery prize in those days, you came to a whist drive in this hall specifically to win the blanket. It was such a big deal. So they had a better attendance at this whist drive than any other thing. In association with this hall, I'd like to mention there's a picture in the hall, and outside we've got a sundial which dates back to 1700, and the children all play on the green around this sundial, not knowing how old it is. And then in the church we've got the Maughold cross, which is back to 1200s, which predates St. Peter's in Rome, and the porch of this church also. So we're all in association with this hall.
And when you were growing up, Keith, were you aware of how significant things like the crosses were?
No, not really. I did have an excellent teacher, Frances Davidson, who tried to encourage us in things Manx, and she gave us a general awareness, but I don't think that we were really steeped in those crosses at that stage, no.
It's something you appreciate, I think, as you get older, isn't it? If you're living in a place for a long time, and I think you go through a stage in sort of early stages of life, in your teens, you might get a bit bored with somewhere, and then later on you really begin to appreciate just how special your local area is sometimes.
Yes, I like the one about Duran the priest who lived up in the wilds at the top end of Cornay, and he knew who the big shots were, St. Patrick and Malachi, but he said, I am the priest in Cornay Dale. So he was big time around these parts. Back to the hall, in the political meetings were frequently held at election time here. My father lost his first attempt to get in the House of Keys, 1945, a by-election, but he got elected in 46, and thereafter the political meetings in the hall attracted massive crowds where people had to sit in the windows and all perch all over the place. And so he went on to win 10 elections from this hall, you might say.
Those are all our late lunch leftovers for this week. Do tune in for the main helping on Manx Radio, weekdays just after 2 p.m.
Every week, of course, we'll have our regular features with Duxford Diaries. We'll have Marc Tyley's Greatest Hit, Midweek Mindfulness, and plenty more with our monthly guests as well.
But for now, thank you so much for listening to the Late Lunch Leftovers podcast. We'll see you again next time.